Alright guys, welcome back. As we can tell by the title of the video, you can already tell what's going on. Project S10, or should I say Project S10s. Here we have a 85 Chevrolet. Well, basically this truck's an 85 GMC Sierra S15, but as everyone knows, same thing as a Chevy S10. Then I've got the new version. Bought this truck about 3 months ago. It's kind of a little update of both of them, and this one too. This one's about to be gone, and I'm going to go through the whole thing and give you an update of what's going on and what I'm going to be doing and all that good stuff. So here is my 92 Chevrolet S10. It's two-wheel drive. It's got the 2.8 V6 5-speed. And then this one was an 85 GMC Sierra S15. It had the 2.5 4-cylinder automatic. Sold the motor, sold the transmission. Reason for it was because the vehicle had a head gasket issue. If you go back on my channel and you look at the video when I first bought this truck, it's been about 7 months or so, maybe 8, and it had a head gasket issue, and I paid $400 for this truck. And she still ran and drove pretty good, alright. Just enough for me to test it out before I took everything apart, just to make sure the truck was, in good shape as far as driving and everything. I've already put a master cylinder on it. It's got brand new front brakes, brand new rear brakes, drums, shoes, brake kit, all that crap. All that stuff is brand new. What else? I'm going to be selling all the wiring for the 2.5, so if anybody's interested in any of this, as far as the motor mounts, the power steering pump, I have the radiator that was for the 2.5, the wiring for it, the engine harness wiring, there's the fuel injector, wiring, and the computer, all that stuff, and then the computer's coming out as well. And the fuel lines too, because the 2.8, which I'm about to get to in just a second, is going in this truck, and these fuel lines are not going to stay. The 2.5 the fuel lines came up about right in here and met to the side, as anyone knows. So I'm not going to be needing any of that. I'm going to take all the fuel lines out, all the way back to the tank. I'm going to take the bed off and unhook all that stuff and go from there. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, if anybody's interested in the parts, I still have some parts left for the 2.5 of the wiring, power steering pump, radiator. This grill I'm not keeping. I'm not keeping the old style front end. I'm actually going to take that nice front, I think it's from 93 front end off of there and putting it on this truck. I'm swapping them because this truck is sold. I've got to take the 2.8 and the 5-speed out of this truck, and I'm going to be taking it out and dropping it in that truck and making it a running, driving, reliable vehicle. But before that happens, before this motor and transmission gets taken and put in that truck, I'm going to go through this whole thing. So far this truck, and if you go back and you look on my channel, guys, and you look at the videos probably about 3 months ago or so, something like that, check that out. This truck does not look like the same like it did in that video. A lot has changed. First of all, I'll go ahead and point out a couple things for ones that don't know. First of all, these rims and tires and the center cap beauty rings were on this truck, and these rims and tires were on that truck. I changed it all out because the rear tires that are on those rims are way too big. That'll mess up the speed odometer, and it just messes up everything, the gearing ratio, because you've got smaller and then bigger, and that just throws everything off. So I switched that because my plans was I was going to find a title for this. I did not get a title. It's basically a parts truck. That's why I'm selling it like it is, and I'm taking what I'm wanting off of it, and I'm putting it in this truck. The guy that is buying this truck is just wanting it for parts, so basically I'm keeping whatever I want off of it and selling the whole truck. I paid $300 for this truck, and I'm actually selling it for $400. So I'm actually getting to keep what I want. I'm keeping the fenders, I'm keeping these rims and tires and this beady rings, the front grille, the front end, because you have to have this whole front piece in order to have the front grille. That look went from 82 to 89, something like that. I may be a little bit off on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So we're going to be taking all that, taking the engine, transmission, the fenders, the front grille, the front end. This truck has 337,000 miles. Definitely does not look like it's got that many miles, but it is completely wore out. This truck, the motor and transmission's fine. It's the body wise that's kind of seen better days, I will say. It needs shocks, struts, front brakes. This rotor on this side, there's a slit. Let's see, there's no best way to show you guys what I mean without showing you the other side. Best bet, you see this, it's kind of hard to see if the camera pick it up. You can see the rotor on the bottom. As you can tell, there's a gash missing. When that gash that's missing on the backing plate for the brake rotor, the brake rotor has that same gap in the rotor. So when this got smashed, it cut a slit in the rotor itself. You can't see it right now, it's probably turned around somewhere on this, but it's got a slit just as same as this is right here. So when I go down the road, the whole brake pedal does this, the whole truck shakes as I goes to stop. So yeah, that's not good. So definitely need brakes and rotors and all that. Now the truck does have a little bit of a coolant leak still yet, as you can tell, that little bitty spot. Looks to be coming from the water pump. The water pump and radiator and everything like that's brand new. So all that's been done. I've went ahead and I flushed the cooling system and changed all of that because winter times came, and I don't want the block to freeze or crack, so or blow a head gasket. So far I've deleted the AC, got another belt, and put that on here because it never did have AC. The condenser's gone anyhow. Put a fan shroud in it, put a clutch fan in it. Valve cover gasket on this side's done. You can tell it's Chevy orange. I haven't done that side, and once I do, that side will be Chevy orange as well, so to match. So yeah, let's see, plugs, wires, thermostat, gasket, coolant temperature sensor, the switch is replaced. I did an oil change. This thing had 8 quarts of oil in that thing. It's only supposed to have at least 4.5 quarts. So I don't know what happened there. The truck did have a miss when I first bought it, and that could have been the reason why it had that much of oil. It probably had gas and oil mixed, which is never good for an engine. You'll tear up the rod bearings, main bearings inside the block, and then you'll end up having a big old either knocking noise or tapping eventually. So it's a good thing I got that out of there. And the oil filter that was on this vehicle was called a Yale oil filter. Never heard of them, never seen them before. I looked it up on Google, couldn't find one, so evidently there's no telling when the last time this thing has ever had an oil change. I went ahead and deleted the air cleaner, and it's very simple. And I've also put an idle control valve on it because it had a high idle issue. It would never idle down. It took at least 30 minutes, and whenever it got to at least operating temperature, then it would finally idle down. And still, even then, sometimes it wouldn't even idle down for a little while. So that got very annoying, and it was killing me in gas. So I also put a breather air cap filter in there. Got that from AutoZone. It's probably ran me about $5 or $10 for that. Painted the fan Chevy orange, and I put a wheel cylinder on it because if you remember, when I first picked up this truck, it had a bad wheel cylinder leak on this side. So I fixed that, and painted the fenders, put these rims and tires on it, put chrome things off of that truck onto here. I changed the mirrors already from that truck, so I got my big mirrors over there so I can be able to use those. And the exhaust is already changed, and I'll go ahead and fire that up in just a little bit and I'll show you that. Painted the roller panels and put a seat cover on her. Painted the vents, the dash pieces. Swapped a radio in her. She didn't have a radio. And for all you guys, this truck still does not have keys to start it or lock it or anything like that. And she does need a clutch. The clutch is very wore, doesn't grab until right at the top. But other than that, it doesn't grind or anything like that going through the gears. Just really, about the only problem I have is when I first take off is it doesn't grab until close to the top. Other than that, it may be just a bad, just a slave cylinder is probably what's wrong with it. I noticed though, another reason why I'm thinking it's just a slave cylinder is because when it got really cold, down to say, well, 20-30 degrees, I come outside to crank this thing up to go, and when I did, I pushed it in and the clutch was very sticky. It wanted to stick to the floor and didn't want to come back up like it's supposed to. As you can tell, it's kind of has like a little, and then it lets go. So we'll go ahead and fire it up, and sometimes you can also hear the output shaft bearing on the clutch. If you hold it just a little bit, it kind of shuts up, so the bearing is bad as well. So no keys. And before I started, I will say it's got Flowmaster exhaust. It's a 4D series. It doesn't sound that great right now at the moment, but it will. I've already got pieces for the exhaust to fix that issue. Because when I drive down the road, I put a Flowmaster on it and put a turn down on it before the axle, and every time I'm doing at least like 35 miles an hour, it's got a bad drone inside of here. So I bought an extension pipe and put a turn down on it right over the axle, and it should fix the issue. You can hear it. Did put gauges in it. It's got a tack, boost gauge. So just a vacuum boost gauge. Got it from Harbor Freight. There she goes. She's idling down. Alright, let me go do a couple revs. I know you guys want to hear that exhaust. Another thing too that's wrong with it is this door. The door hinges on this side so wore out. When you open the door, it falls like that. So you have to pick it up every time and shut it, or it won't shut right, or won't close, and it'll leak. guys, so what you think? Think it's a good idea to take out that 2.8 5-speed and all the good parts that are on this truck that are left that are good, and put them on my 85 model. Now this one is a long bed and that one's a short bed, if you couldn't tell. I am selling that camper top, so if anybody's interested in that, I'm asking 200 the best offer. Just email me or send me a message on here, and I will try my best to get back to you if you're interested in it. So anyways, I'll go through this truck real fast and show you a little bit of it, because it's been a while since anybody's seen this one. And yeah, show you the inside. This one's in really good shape. The door panels and everything are good shape. They're not cracked, they're not faded. Beautiful blue panels. It's got chrome handles, chrome door latch, and they're not even wore out, both of them. Which is very common on the S10s. The dash is not busted, not cracked, not faded. The radio that was in here is in the other one. I'm going to put it back in here. Everything opens, everything works. I painted these as well. I had that old looking gray color. All the mats will go back in here that I had. The bench seat's in excellent condition. It's really cushiony. There's no rips, no tears, except for right over there. That's the only spot out of the whole truck. On the inside, headliner's in great shape. Sun visors are not faded or nothing like that. They're not tore up. I am missing the dome light cover. I might have to order that off eBay or Amazon, something like that. So yeah. Now this side is same way, very good shape. There's a couple stains and stuff. I've not really cleaned this truck that well. Like I said, it's getting really cold out here, or I'm even having bad weather coming this way, I've heard. So anyway, I've changed the steering wheel, painted the dash pieces, have put tint windows on it, so it has tint now, and you can't really tell it in this video, evidently. That's pretty bad, but on the outside you can. The seat sits pretty good. It is kind of slumped in this side. That was the Cherry Bomb that was on that truck before I put the Flowmaster. Cherry Bomb did sound pretty good. But I will say the Flowmaster is a lot better. So yeah, this truck has 31,000 miles, and the other one has 337,000. The shocks and struts and everything is good on this. I've already done the brake work and all this, so the brakes are ready to go. The shocks are good. Tinted windows. Interior is excellent condition. It's not busted up, tore up like that one. The doors open and shut like new, like they're supposed to. It's got brand new, these are brand new. I may end up keeping these tires. Brand new Century 205 7015. Really and truly, on both these trucks, they're supposed to have 14-inch rims and tires, but I like the 15-inch better. Kind of sits up a little bit higher, and doesn't look too tiny in the wheel well. I tried putting the bigger tires up front on that one, and they rub the inside of the fender well, so I'm not able to run bigger tires unless I buy a lift kit and lift the truck up a little bit. So I may do that, but as for right now, no, I'm not going to be putting a lift on it for a good little while until I get the truck running and going again. So yeah, what do you think, guys? You really think it's a good idea? I know a lot of people hate on the 2.8s. I don't know why. Can't understand that part. I heard something about they're underpowered and everything like that, but to me, she shifts good, drives good, and it's got some power. Better than that 2.5 that was in this, 80 horsepower. So if you have any questions or comments, anything that I should know about, maybe some tips I could get, maybe some kind of kit that I could get online, maybe for a couple of other things, maybe make the truck a little bit faster, just some things like that. I'm going to be putting the clutch in the truck whenever I take it all apart to put it in here. It'll be a little bit a while before that engine transmission is actually in this truck and driving, because right now, December, Christmas and everything's coming up. I really don't have the time right now, so it probably won't be until at least March or April before that engine and transmission is even in this truck, or maybe even May. So alright guys, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the bottom. I'd sure appreciate it. I'll try my best to get back to you, and thanks for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. stay tuned for more on the Chevy S10 project. Thanks.